that the track bias wasn't really favoring the closers all that much, and there were a couple of strong horses in the race. And then all of a sudden, you had a horse who came from last and made this huge move on the turn, and then just blew the field away. A horse by the name of Resolute Bay. Can you tell us a little bit about Resolute Bay?
All right. This was about 3-4 Wednesdays ago, I believe it was. She's a 2-year-old filly. I had her in Florida all winter with me. When she got back to Canada, she was basically almost ready to run, and shins came up. I had to stop. So gave her time, came back again, right close to a race. Shins came back again. So I managed to squeak one race in. We doctored her shins and iced them. You know, it wasn't that bad, but it came back again. So we figured we'd give her one race and put her away for a little while, let it heal, and, you know, bring her back when she was, you know, 150%. So anyways, upon that race, she finished 4th, which I thought was a very big effort considering that she was, you know, she wasn't 100% going to that race, but she still ran a gutsy race, gave it up at the 8th pole, and, you know, got beat about 3-4 lengths to not a bad horse. Anyways, a couple months later, 3 weeks ago, I ran her in a 6-furlong race on a Wednesday night. She was 150%.
Well, just to put the mic down.
Yeah, she was 150% going into that race. I really liked her chances, and I let Contreras work her the week before, and he said, you know, I definitely want to ride this horse. He had 2 options in the race, which was the favorite and the second favorite, and he stuck with me, which gave me a vote of confidence. So here it is, race day. She's 15-1. She's loading to the gate. She's 12-1. I'm saying, wow, does she really have a shot? But anyways, they break out of the gate. You know, she breaks with them, and all of a sudden I see her going further and further backwards. I said, oh gee, here we go again, shins. But at the quarter pole, you know, she's starting to get a little closer to the field. You know, she was about 12-13 lengths off it, right? And, you know, I said, boy, keep it up, beat a horse, don't finish last. So all of a sudden, she just keeps sustaining a strong run, and to a point where I said, oh my God, she's gonna win. And she just rolls by the field and wins pretty easy. Very impressed with her. I think she has a future. I think she'll be a very good 3-year-old. Her 2-year-old season has been somewhat, you know, sporadic back and forth because of her shins, but I think as a 3-year-old next year, when she gets everything straight, she'll be a handy filly. The reason I was really impressed with that race is the fact that she, you know, she came from so far off it, whereas most 2-year-olds, you know, they seem to fire out, and if they have enough, they'll win. You know how the story goes. But, you know, she's a horse I'm looking forward to. She's not no big stake horse or nothing like that, but I think she could be a handy little runner.
So coming out of that big effort, because it looked like, I think it was the first race on the card, and just based on looking at the first part of the race, it did look like it was going to favor the front runners, because the pace was moderate, and I go, I'm not sure if this backfield's going to get going at all. And then I just saw this horse, like you said, it dropped back a bit and then just exploded, and I went, what was that? And then just, it looked to me that Contreras had this horse under wraps, hitting the wire. How did she come out of the race? Were the shins like affected in any way? Did she seem like she was good to go for start coming up soon? What's the plan? Because like you said before, it looked like that she was going to be laid up for the year and then put out some later time. But since she ran so well there, are you looking to run her again, or are you thinking that's it for now and then bide your time later on?
I'll definitely give her one more start. Her shins were, touch wood, they're fine now. I have no concern regarding shins with her. She'll get one more start, and I'm kind of keen to see if she'll go around 2 turns. Giving her running style her first race and the ease that she won with, Louis came back after the race and he said, you know, she did it so easy. You know, and after watching the replays, like I always do, Louis didn't have to hit her. He just basically pointed her, and you know, he had his hands down on her, and I got it was very easy, I thought. So, you know, going around 2 turns could be a possibility. That's what I'm kind of going to look for in the next few weeks. She'll get one more race and call it a year after that.
Well, we wish you all the best in Resolute Bay's future. Speaking of another one you have, it's been a very consistent running at 5 and 6 furlongs. You have a horse by the name of 20 Black. Can you tell us a little bit about that horse? Because the horse has had some big runs this year and has been running 2nd, 3rd, but then it also had a big win there not too long ago, about a month and a half ago. Can you tell us a little bit about that run? And I believe it was Luis Contreras on that horse too.
Yep, first time Louis. That seems to be a trend for me this year. Every time I put Louis on a horse, they win at good odds.
He just has the magic touch.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about Contreras, he brings a new running style to a horse that doesn't really have a running style, never did that running style before. Like, he will drop a horse, you know, very far out of the race, and he'll set him up for a big run. He's a pretty confident rider. He knows where the wire is, and you know, he has a lot of trust in what's underneath him, I find. That what makes him a really good rider. I think his judge of pace, and you know, bringing in a new style of running to a horse that has never tried it before, but he's pretty game to try it. Anyways, as far as the horse goes, very consistent all year. You know, for a 12.5 horse, she's made 60,000, and you know, I don't know, not a lot of allowance horses seem to make 60 at the end of the year, but she's just a grinder. She tries every race, and you know, touch wood, she'll probably have one more race this year, but she's had a really good, you know, good go of things this year, I think. You know, for a bottom horse, very happy with her. She's one of, I tell you what, as cheap as she runs for, she's one of my stars.
I always talk so highly of Luis Contreras. Is he your go-to rider, or do you have other riders that you favor for some of your horses? Like, they seem to have the magic touch, the key to get to the wire first.
You know what? There's so many good riders. The fact that I'm going with Louis nowadays is he's just putting horses in really good spots in a race. He's rolling, he's on a roll, he's winning 3-4 races a day. You know, that's part of the reason I'm going to Louis. He's just, everything he touches, he brings good to them. I ride all kinds of different riders if need be. Jesse Campbell, I think he's a very strong rider. He really gets a lot out of a horse. I think he's very, very dangerous on a front-end horse. He will bring them the last eighth of a mile and really help them out, I think. Justin Stein, very patient rider, good judge of pace. You know, there's just so many good riders here, and they all have their key attributes. Daniel David, you know, the Magic Man, brings horses from left field. You know, he's gifted, that guy. You know, I've always said it about Daniel David. He's a gifted rider. There's not a lot of riders that can do what Daniel does sometimes.
Is there anyone out in the crowd who would like to ask Mr. Arthur Silvera a question? Anything regarding any of his horses or anything coming up? Patrick?
Arthur, you said in previous meetings you go down to the sales from time to time, and I think you said, is it Keeneland you go down to?
Yes, I go to Keeneland and Florida.
And Florida.
Yeah.
Now, which one do you prefer out of the two as far as quality?
Value for money, Keeneland.
Value.
Keeneland, definitely value for money. I've gotten very lucky there as far as buying horses at a you know, not so expensive sum of money, and had very good luck at Keeneland, I find.
Yeah.
A lot of trainers here at Woodbine have had a lot of success there. A lot of horses to choose from.
Okay.
And you know, you could definitely find value there.
Is it because there's more breeding going on in Keeneland? And
much more
good
breeding going on in
quality?
Keeneland, and a lot of people selling good horses at at a discount rate.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a limit when you go down there?
It depends on the owner. What the client tells me.
Okay.
Some have a limit from 20 to 30. Some have a limit from 10 to 20. That most trainers get a range to go on when they go down to a sale from a client, and they just go within that range.
You obviously sometimes have problems meeting a range, so there may be a horse that's just over 10,000.
Well, usually you can squeak it by and talk him into it.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now, your dad is a fond believer of not paying too much for a horse.
Yes.
And I don't know how he does it, but he does it every year. He's so successful.
Yeah.
Has any of his
well, the best horse I ever bought, the best horse I ever bought was for $5,500, and I ended up selling that horse as a 3-year-old after he ran second to Wando.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got 250. Actually, I was a partner on this horse. I owned the third, and I went together with a few guys that I went to high school with. I talked them into buying a horse, and lo and behold, my $5,500 horse, 2 years later, after running second to Wando, we sold and made really good money. And, the guys still in the game, still having fun, and it's just great to kind of share with guys you grew up when you're 14, 15, 16 with, and those are the best partners.
They sure are.
Best partners, because it's not just a trainer-owner deal relationship. It's everybody knows everybody about everybody.
Yeah. That's great. Great story.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Did you buy anything at the sales here?
Not this sale here, but in Keeneland.
In Keeneland you did.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to next year, eh?
Very much so.
Good for you.
Very much so.
All the best.
Always do.
Thank you.
But I always look forward to going to Florida in December.
Yeah.
But they extended the meet here till the 16th.
Yeah, so you can't take off that early.
So Florida will have to wait on me.
Thanks, Eric.
Anybody else in the crowd? Oh, we have the lovely lady at the back.
Are you afraid that these race days are coming to an end with the blowout?
You know what? I have confidence. I try not to think about it, tell you the truth.
How about you not trying to
You know what? It's very tough. I go home, I see all the emails that are sent out. Definitely, it's a trying time, and I try to have faith. That something will come up, and Fort Erie will be back in action, and
You think if we can all hold out until the Liberals lose, which won't be long, I hope.
yeah. Well, like I said, it's a tough time, and just you gotta have faith, I guess.
Well, Shell said he's expanding. Didn't he say he's expanding? So
Yeah.
I was going to ask him. He doesn't seem worried.
Well, he's trying to look on Shale's trying to look on the bright side, I'm sure. Which everybody is, And it's business as usual. At the sale back here in September, the CTHS sale, people are buying horses. The usual suspects. A lot of the big guys like Bob Taylor and all that. They're buying Buddy Gang. They're buying a lot of horses, a lot of Ontario sired horses, and I guess they're optimistic. Yeah, and fantastic. I'm in that boat too. I'm optimistic. I'm not slowing down. I'm going to Florida at the end of the meet, and getting my horses ready for next spring, and hopefully I come back next spring, we'll all be here.